All right, guys, we're back for a little market analysis. Transparency, I'm recording this on a Monday, and I haven't traded, or I haven't looked at the chart since last Thursday. I am in a gold long trading MTP since this day. That said, yeah, I bought in here and I got shaken out, and then I bought in here, I got shaken out, so I didn't trade it well at all. It's a process, I'm getting better. As far as Bitcoin, you guys know that this isn't right. This is a bug. It's not supposed to buy there. Let me fix it. As far as Bitcoin goes, it closed. It's always, I mean, it's usually has some long exposure, but it closed a lot of its longs on this day. You guys know I sold and I went short there and took a small profit. It could have probably held for better, but it's all good. If we look at US 500, there's danger here. It sold a lot of its positions at the top. But that said, these things are consolidating just under all-time highs. And yeah. Now looking at Bitcoin, my thought is that okay, let's look at the total crypto market actually. I mean, for me, there's not really much to say with gold just continuing to run. I do like the idea of taking profit at 3,000 though. Round number, it's probably a magnet, but there may be some kind of a correction that happens in there and then reposition later. What happened the first time gold hit 2,000? It that was a top. So I'm gonna say 3,000 discretion is a good place to get out of gold. Um, Look at this result. This back test is crazy. 47% drawdown, 1.7 million% return. Anyway, so for Bitcoin, one of the things that I'm looking at is relative strength. So let's look at the crypto market outside of Bitcoin on the, let's look at it on the year actually. Um, let's look. Well, let's look at on the month actually. So we had a red month, right? The crypto total market is down 12%, and the altcoin market is down almost 20%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is down just 4%. That's kind of crazy. It's been extremely strong. And when I see this, I don't think, oh, Bitcoin needs to catch up to the downside. It's lagging. Or the altcoins need to catch to the upside. I think, no, it's just a stronger asset. So one of my ideas has been during a market downturn, let me look for the strongest asset. And right now that appears to be Bitcoin. Maybe there's a couple stronger ones. Let's actually go ahead and look at CoinMarketCap. I want to look at the monthly though. Litecoin. Yeah, this isn't a great way to scan. Um, so one of the things, I mean, if we care about um sentiment, we could still be at a top here. It's possible. I mean, it looks like it might be. Or what's also potentially likely is chopping sideways, like a sideways chop, or a bleedy sideways chop for Bitcoin. That said, like mass hysteria was November, December, and we've had a couple months potentially to reset, especially in others. Now, if we look at what happened on this day, we've been bleeding towards this wick. but that wick, I feel like it will act as a significant low. Not that we might not take it later or that we have to reverse entirely, but that was a massive, massive liquidation on ETH. That liquidation was like, I want to say it went 15% on a 5 minute candle, something crazy. This 1 hour candle is a 20% candle. That 1 hour is more volatile than a number of months, right? September, October. Yeah, it was like a month's volatility in an hour. So I think it's unlikely. I mean, it's possible we bleed down and something like that, but I'm much more comfortable being long the market now after that than I was up here. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was really uncomfortable being long up in here. But after this wick and seeing the strength of Bitcoin, it's really interesting to me. And we need to always be looking for long exposure. So if we look at greed, fear, we actually have now had fear in the market. If we look at the funding rate, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of negative funding across the market. If we look at Bitcoin on the 8 hour, on that move down, we got a flash of red for the first time since last summer. I know I said, hey, this might be the cycle high right here, but also if we look at the time of year, we may still be able to rally March, April into May. It's possible. Let's take a look. Funding rate. So we're going to look at some perpetual future data. Here we have it on the 1 hour. We can see that yes, on this sharp move down, that was the first negative funding on Bitcoin since, I'm going to put it on the 4 hour just so we can zoom out more. Okay, let's look here. This negative funding was the first negative funding since this summer, right? In the summer there was, here's the thing though, funding can be negative for longer, right? On the way down here, it went negative again. We got a really nice rally out, and then it went negative again on this bottom, and was intermittently negative. So it doesn't mean that we need to reverse right away or it can't go negative again, but it's a really strong indicator. And actually, if we look at the broader market, the funding has been persistently negative now, which is at least makes me think I want to buy, or at least not be short. Again, the last time we saw that was this range over the summer, and it didn't necessarily, it went lower once it started, but yeah, when the funding went crazy, it was like, all right, maybe we should be out. But Bitcoin has held up extremely well despite this insanity of high prices and crazy funding. Prices at the same, it's Bitcoin prices out about the same as it was. Now look, we can see futures have been selling off the volume, or at least. And let's go ahead and let's look at the open interest. Let's look at open interest change. Do we have? No. No. Do we have liquidations? Aggregated liquidations. Interesting. Liquidations. Okay. Saying there was more liquidations up here. This is something I want to dive into a little bit more. But anyways, the open interest had peaked at 34 billion. It's down to 28. So it's at least had a healthy pullback of positions getting knocked out. I mean, if we want like the best possible opportunity, we would maybe want to see a years long protracted bear market, which is possible. Locally, it looks okay though. So, yeah, I go. That said, yeah, gold looks good. Yeah, it is US 500. It is failing under the high. That said, and that can be quite dangerous, but it happened here and it kept going. Happened here, kept going. Happened in here and kept going. You just generally want to be long. So, yeah, that's my analysis and updates. Appreciate y'all.